A young recruit, fresh from joining a Roman legion, could have as his dream or goal to be a centurion. He could have led, trained, and disciplined his group of soldiers, from 80 to 100 men, called a centurion. Achieving that position was a great milestone in the life of a legionary. But we must be clear, being a good soldier in the Roman army was not enough to be a centurion. Why? Let us look at some skills that a legionary would have to demonstrate. First, the soldier needed to be able to read and write. Sure, in today's world, this may not be seen as a huge requirement, but in the Roman Empire, this was a much rarer skill, especially among the lower class, the origin of most legionaries. The first prerequisite filtered out the majority. Even if a soldier aimed to achieve this rank, it was difficult to find the time to learn to read and write during military service, but it was not impossible. The reading and writing taught in schools were not accessible to the public and cost a lot of money. Only those who could afford it could have their children educated. Most centurions usually came from the equestrian class, the second highest class in Rome. We cannot say that this was true of all of them, but most centurions did not come from the background of the more common soldiers. The reading and writing requirements were needed because the centurions also had administrative tasks to fulfill. For example, they had to submit regular reports to senior officers on the status of their centurias and other relevant matters. They also had to record logistical information or write dispatches for equipment requests. Even though they were leaders on the battlefield, centurions often spent more time in the command tents doing bureaucratic tasks. If a good soldier could read and write, we can say that he was already halfway there to becoming a centurion. And were there more things needed? Flavius Vegetus, a writer on military strategies in the 4th century AD, cited some aptitudes of a centurion. He was chosen for size, strength, skill in throwing projectile weapons, and in the use of the sword and shield. A good and experienced soldier was supposed to have these. However, there was more to it. Vegetus wrote that the centurion would also need to be vigilant, moderate, and always more ready to carry out orders received than to question them. He had to be strict with his centuria, training, exercising, and maintaining the discipline of his soldiers. The centurion was also supposed to be a good example, even in simple things like cleanliness and personal hygiene. And if any soldier had problems with this, the centurion would need to act. He would need to be a good leader, administrator, and make decisions under pressure. These skills were not for everyone. And if you think about it for a moment, not everyone wanted this job. The legions were organized by cohort. They had 6 centurions. Imagine 6 men leading 480, keeping them clothed, fed, and organized. It was not easy, but of course, they had good auxiliaries to help them. The centurions had to report to the tribunes. If things were not going well with the centurion, or if he did not do his job properly, he would be penalized or even executed. If a good soldier had these skills, he could have the great honor of being elected centurion. He could be appointed by election, by the Roman Senate, or promoted from the ranks, especially if he had displayed bravery or leadership qualities in battle. In some cases, the emperor could directly appoint centurions. Not only that, besides having a salary 4 times higher than that of a soldier, if he kept up a decent job as a centurion throughout his career, he could rise even higher in the ranks. He could be a tribune, a prefect, a soldier in the Praetorian Guard, and perhaps a member of the Senate. But I also want to know what you think. Would you rather be a simple good soldier without having to give orders, even if you were paid less and did not get as much credit for your achievements? Or, if you had the opportunity, would you be a centurion, even if you had to take on great responsibilities and answer directly to your men? Let us know what you think in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to our channel.